because that's where the money is and that's where the power is. And it doesn't take long before this magnet pulls in the predator class, and people who are enjoying all their liberties and freedoms and benefits, they don't think about those things. They don't want to be involved in politics. So gradually the system begins to get corrupted, and you don't see it at first. In fact, when you're born into it, you don't even look for it. So what's happening today, the short answer, is it's a continuation of what happened almost from the very beginning. It's the erosion of personal liberty and the growth of government power, because the predator class has been attracted to the government. Wow. And to the media and all other institutions of power and money. And we have been sitting around saying, oh, this is a wonderful ride. Now the ride's getting bumpy, the wheels are coming off, and we're saying, what happened? Well, it's still happening, but it started a long time ago.
Well, you know, in fact, to that point, I was watching a video that you made, I'm guessing the 1950s, about color communism and common sense, and you introduced us to Manning Johnson. And then I watched that in the midst of the Black Lives Matter, and I was like, this is the same repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. For example, I knew through a friend, Dr. Cleon Scouts, and I met Eldridge Cleaver and the Black Panthers and realized this is communism recycled, trying to use critical race theory, Patrisse Cullors, and all of that. It's the same thing. So it's been going on from the 50s. And then I watched another video that you did that was amazing with an interview with Yuri Bezmenov in 1984, the 4 stages of ideological subversion. And those are really coming back. So you've been studying and following this for decades.
Yes, I have. And I don't know why, because when I went through school, I was hardly what you would call a scholar. I went to school for the real reason you go to college is to have a good time, you know, and I was not interested in learning anything, only those things which I had to get out the other side. But later on, when I finally was married and I had a wife and all of a sudden a couple of little kids to take care of, something changed. I discovered that I had this crusader gene. I had a concept that I needed to be responsible for the benefits I had. Now, I know that's what the older folks teach to the young kids, and nobody taught that to me that I'm aware of. It just became aware. I think it's part of all of our makeup, part of our genetic code. As we get older, we figure out why we're here. So anyway, it's a long journey, and everybody goes through it.
And you want to pass liberty on to future generations. You want to pass the liberty that we once knew as a nation, that you've watched slowly taken away from us. And Bezmenov in 1984, which is an ironic time period, right? You know, Orwell's novel, 1984, he warned us about psychological warfare, demoralization. He warned us that we would start to believe things, you know, people could tell you things that are patently false. You could see obviously are false, and yet people started to believe it.
Yes, they had no choice because they'd been conditioned mentally. And of course, that's the whole big topic, that the warfare changed at that point from primarily a military conflict to a conflict of ideas. And so that's where we are today. Ideas are destroying us, not the military.
All right, we're going to need to take a break, but I want to talk about, when we come back, about the creature from Jekyll Island, because we're seeing central bank digital currencies emerge. We're seeing the creature morphing. And I think you might have some insights on what we need to do about that. We'll be right back after a break.